by Clairice here on Vocalo Radio, Chicago's only urban alternative, 91.1 FM. And we actually have the artist in the studio. Hello.
Hello. Happy to be here.
I'm excited to have you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm enjoying this beautiful sun today that we have here in Chicago.
I know.
You know, the ups and downs.
Thank you to the universe, because I can't take any more rain or clouds.
Girl, me neither.
Like, it's summer. It's time.
It's time.
Yeah.
Even though summer technically is not till June 20th. But
is that
we're
really
like,
the date?
Yes. Yeah. Everyone's like, summer needs to be here now. It's crazy. And I'm like, it's technically like not supposed to be here.
See, I'm a Gemini, so I'm like, Gemini season, summer. That's the start of summer for me. I'm like,
Yes.
That's when summer starts.
That's right.
But look, we'll take what we could get. It's been a great eventful year for you so far.
Yeah,
I feel like
thank you.
There's a lot of amazing things happening for you.
Thank you.
You put out your project, your EP, Patient on Me.
Yeah.
You're gonna be at Lollapalooza performing.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me get the applause again for that. You're gonna be at Lollapalooza performing.
That's right.
How amazing is that?
Yeah.
How has that been for you?
I mean, it's really exciting. It's awesome. I mean, we're doing it through Chicago Made. And so it's like a whole showcase of a Chicago artist, and I'm really excited to be a part of that. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome.
Now, was there a contest?
There was.
Okay, so
yeah.
You were the winner of. I just know because I saw this like really cool photo of you,
Yeah.
and then it said like the Chicago Made, and then it said winner. So what was. Like, was there a couple winners, or were you just the winner?
So no. So the winner is another Chicago artist, Meh, and it was like a $10,000. Yeah, love her.
We also love $10,000.
Yes, we also love 10K. I mean, that's why I was doing the competition. But I was like, I guess I will settle for Lollapalooza. Yeah. So. It was me and Mike Laurie are the two Chicago artists that are going to be featured.
Wow.
Yeah, and then some other surprises are to come. So
okay,
yeah.
You know, I know you can't tell us everything. I get it. But is this your first time performing at Lolla? I mean, I know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's exciting. And I mean, I just released this project, Patient on Me, and we have this big show coming up at Sleeping Village on June 21st as well, which like I'm putting my whole chest into. And so coming off of that to that is going to be, it just feels like it's a continuous climb. Yeah. Like you were saying, it's like this year there's a lot coming, and there's more music even being released this year that I'm like super excited about, like some collaborations with some local Chicago artists that I'm like super jazzed to have coming out later in the year.
Oh, we love that. We love a good collab. We love a good collab and a good exclusive here at Vocalo.
That's right.
We love an exclusive. So, you know, because I saw that you have the Sleeping Village show.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, end of Gemini season, right? The 21st.
Right.
Okay, so that's the end of Gemini season. And then you have Lolla. So I was wondering, are those two sets completely different sets that you're getting ready for?
Yeah. So I mean, there are a lot of restrictions that are put on us for the Lolla stuff, just because it's a festival, like no games to be played in regards to that. So Sleeping Village is really like, I am creating what I define as like the Clairice world at Sleeping Village. And it's a good venue to do that at. Yes.
It is a good venue to do that at.
I chose to do it at that venue. I reached out to them and booked it myself because I was like, I want to have a platform and a space that can really embrace everything that I have to offer as a performer, because I also have this theatrical background that I haven't really been able to like tap into with my music. And I feel like my music keeps growing, keeps pushing towards like being more world building.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I want a space that can handle something that feels more immersive. And also Sleeping Village, they're amazing with artists. They are so like embracing of the local scene here in Chicago, the resources that they give us, like the way that they treat us. It is like hands down my favorite venue to do anything at in Chicago.
No, definitely.
Big
always
statement.
Always good music, always a good party at
Yeah.
Sleeping Village, I feel. When you are, you know, like putting out a project like this, I'm sure you hope for good reception back.
Of course, yeah.
And so to get booked, right? To get booked and to be booked and busy for summer is always really nice. How long did this project take for you to put together?
Oh, that's a really good question. Technically, it might be close to, it's crazy, but it might be close to like 4 years. Just for like 4 tracks.
I was not expecting
you
that.
expecting that. You were like, yeah, a month.
It took like 7 months.
Totally. Well, because I'm actually sitting on a lot of music right now in general. So specifically on the EP, there's Need a Little and Grab That. And Grab That was written 4 years ago. Grab That was like, I was working on another EP that probably will never see the light of day as projects go, and like maybe some of those songs will be adopted into other things, but Grab That was written as a part of a whole nother project. And then Need a Little came like maybe 2.5, 3 years ago, and that continued to grow, and I felt like Need a Little and Grab That became these companion songs to each other, so they naturally just fit. And then I wrote Getting Better on my 30th birthday, and like started kind of going through this whole, I realized I went through this whole evolution of like grieving and moving through this narcissistic relationship that I had about 4 years ago.
We've all had one of those, I think, right? It's just like, It's a staple of growing up is having that narcissistic relationship. Yeah.
No, totally. Yeah, I think everyone has to go through one. But I think what I realized after I had written all of these tracks, I was like, oh, this is like a full embracing of all of the steps that I feel like I had to go through in order to like move past that moment in my life and kind of step into something that's like bigger and this like more self-knowing, which I also think is translated in the soundscape of the whole project too. Like I don't know if you know this, but I rebranded. Like I've only been Clairice for like the last 2 years, but before that I was E Woods, and that music was very like soul, funk, and it was super optimistic, and it wasn't like fully embracing of the full scope of emotion that I experience as a woman. I think I like turned away from a lot of the things that I deem as like negative emotions or things that I think society judges us for experiencing as women. And so I started exploring those sounds, and I started embracing Clairice, which is my middle name. And this project is kind of like the first expression of that. It's like this first body of work that gives you a better understanding of the complexities that I experience, I guess, as a woman trying to love.
No, I'm glad you brought that up, because I definitely saw the rebrand. Okay, I was not going to ask you about it.
No, why? Is that tender? That's tricky?
I feel like it could get awkward for people like, wait, oh, I saw you change your whole name. Why? No. It's just like, I wasn't going to say, but it makes sense. I mean, because I do, from hearing what you said earlier too, about like your soundscape and your world, I do feel like, especially in 2025, and having like a full image to give to the public is really important right now. And like I feel like people that have that, like they kind of reach success on another level. Like once, like that's the thing that really like jumps people off right now, I feel. So when you're going through these things and you're going through these relationships, and I think it's crazy that you're
trying to get into the tea right now.
No, I was gonna say, first of all, I always try to get into the tea.
Yeah, well,
but no, I was gonna say, like, a song from 4 years ago, that must have been a really good song. Like, you're like, to listen to it 4 years later and be like, no, this still hits, know? Like, that's crazy to me. I know when I listened to Patient on Me, which was like my fave.
Yeah, thank you.
It's one of those things where I was like, can I just be heartbroken for like a second? Like, can I find something dumb so I can enjoy this a little bit more? Like, can I enjoy this a little?
Wait,
know?
Dang, that's actually totally like what it's for, though.
Really?
Like I love you. Yeah, because if you're like a little heartbroken, you totally can enjoy that song. Like, I'm
like too happy. I was like, I want to feel this like in the extent of heartbreak, Yeah. Can you divulge a little bit more on like that song and like the process of you putting it together?
Sure. That song came together about 2 years ago, and it was birthed from a conversation. I decided to be like, I was about to lie and say celibate. I was like, I wasn't quite celibate, but I definitely wasn't trying to be in a relationship. I was like exclusively being like, oh, no, like, I don't want to be in a relationship for about like a year and some change. And I finally got to this point where I was like, okay, I think that you love yourself enough after all of that like crap that I had been through. Like, you were okay stepping back out into the world of dating. And there's someone that was like on my, you know, in my pathways that was catching my eye. And I was like, maybe you're ready for like opening up. And so I was like having a conversation with one of my friends, P Tuggs, who is also a local Chicago artist. And I was talking to him about how I was feeling like maybe I'm ready again. And that kind of just poured out of me, like after I had this text conversation, kind of claiming to somebody else that like maybe I'm ready to be open if I can receive patience from someone to like, you know, I'm coming to the table with trauma, and also like the world that I've built for myself in this like year and change that I've been alone is beautiful. So like if I am letting someone into that, like it's going to be tough, and I need to know that you're going to accept the whole of me, and you're gonna like want to actually see me and be with me and not just an idea of me. And that's gonna require like probably a little bit of trial and error, like a little bit of, you know, there's gonna be some testing involved with that. And so the song kind of just like came to be. I grabbed my guitar and I like wrote it in an hour and a half, like super quick. And then I sat on it for a little bit because I was like, this song is so precious to me. I need to return to it at a time that I feel like it's right to return to it and embellish it. And I shopped it around with my other producer, Marcus Darling. And at the time we were working on other music, and he was like, I think it sounds good as it is. Like, it was like just the guitar and like the 808s. And I was like, I feel like it needs more. And so then I went to my other producer, Danny Classic, and he like heard the whole world. And then he kind of like started really adding all these like really interesting production elements to it. I mean, I don't know if you like hear the typewriter in it and like the rolling of a marble across. There's this playfulness that he added to the production, and he like reversed my guitar part and did all these like really crazy things that really brought this whimsy to the world that I think encapsulates like, you know, the idea of like maybe like you can dip your toes back into the water again, you know? So yeah, that's that.
No, I definitely heard some of those things, and I was looking around and I was like, what is that my cat? Like,
totally,
like
totally.
But you know, it's funny, you use the word whimsy. That's like the perfect word. Like sometimes I find, sometimes you hear things and you don't really, you feel things, but you don't know what words to put it with.
Totally.
Whimsy is definitely like the perfect word. And it's so funny. I'm like, we need to talk after this. I don't know. Have we dated the same person? I don't know.
I pray not.
So many.
No.
So
Lord.
many things that you said definitely translate. Like, especially when you come out of a difficult relationship, you actually like have boundaries now,
yes.
right? You have boundaries, and then
yes.
you actually are like, look, I only want to see you on Wednesdays and Saturdays, right? From
yeah.
7:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m.
Exactly.
And then that's it. That's my window.
It.
Yeah.
Send me the Google invite. Yeah. Like, I'm not. No, stop. Yeah. My time is special.
Yeah, you're like it gets very professional at some point.
No.
If you're,
it does, unfortunately. I'm like, oh God.
If you're just tuning in, we have Clairice here on with us, and if you are looking for some music to listen to, some great music to listen to, show coming up June 21st, Sleeping Village, and then also they will be performing at Lollapalooza, which is so exciting. Do you know what day you're performing, by the way?
Thursday. Yeah.
Thursday. Okay.
July 31st. Yep.
And then Chicago Made, is it going to be on its own a special stage?
It's on the Tito stage.
Okay.
Yeah, they're giving us the Tito stage this year. Yeah. An official announcement with all the details will be soon.
Okay, cool. I don't know. The Tito stage is usually always in a really cool location, if I remember correctly. So that should be fun. definitely some fun times had at the Tito stage. Yeah. And if you want to listen to their latest EP, Patient on Me, that's available. Where could people find you if they want to keep up with you on Instagram and
stuff? Instagram. Find me on Instagram. And this is a great time for me to tell y'all that there is an I in Clairice after the A. People always be dropping that. You can find me at Clairice, OHCLAIRICE.
Perfect. And we were just talking about Patient on Me, and we're going to outro with that song. So I'll go ahead and let you introduce it.
All right, everybody. This is Patient on Me.
I am holding it all in my gut, and I'm wondering if you're enough. Is this the only way?